The 14th of the 6th, 2025. The time is 37 minutes past 3 in the AMs, but we got breaking news. The F1 news beat does not sleep, and nor do we when news breaks like this. Derek Warwick is gonzo on the back of some very critical comments of Max Verstappen, an instance that was the love kiss between the four soon-to-be five-time champion and the one that they call King George Russell of Kings Lynn, Norfolk. Derek Warwick is gonzo. Let's go through it because this is important stuff here. Derek Warwick was due to be an FIA steward. He was on duty at the Canadian Grand Prix round 10. Was he not? But after the following comments where he said everybody's got to realise that when you're a racing driver and you used to win like Max Verstappen, it's very difficult when things start to go against you. Giving these comments to gambling websites, if past this prologue mentioned no names Johnny Herbert, then this was always on the cards. You can't surely be an objected FIA steward if you're giving these messages, these signals to a gambling website for monetary gain, financial resources. These two things, being an objective steward and monetizing for your opinion, are mutually exclusive, are they not? Johnny Herbert had to learn the hard way. You can't wear two caps as at June 2025, a stewarding one, an objective stewarding one, and be a pundit too. Surely this is obvious at this stage, but apparently not for Derek Warwick. The legends over at Autosport, for the avoidance of doubt, all F1 journalistic publications are created equally, but some in Autosport are created more equal than others. Mark Mann Bryans writes that high-profile F1 steward has been axed ahead of the Canadian Grand Prix, for which of course he was due to steward, and I don't hate it. Former F1 driver Derek Warwick, writes the article, has been pulled from duty in Montreal following unauthorised media comments. This is the terminology that I was looking for. Unauthorised media comments. No place for it, not anymore. Again, this isn't me saying that Derek Warwick wasn't conducting his FIA stewarding activities in a way that wasn't true, set, fair, nor objective. But you can be forgiven for questioning it when you see these comments attached to his name for monetary gain. Autosport article continues. Derek Warwick has been suspended from duties. Suspended, you mean sacked, Autosport, from his duties as a steward for this weekend's F1 Canadian Grand Prix after a number of controversial media interviews. And when you say media interviews, you're talking for monetary gain for a gambling website, for Pete's sake. The 70-year-old, who has 4 Grand Prix podiums, was due to serve as one of the stewards in Montreal, but will now sit out the weekend after the FIA decided to suspend Derek Warwick. No kidding, Sherlock. Finally, it seems like they're making low-hanging, good decisions for once. The only thing that I'd argue as far as the FIA are concerned is that this isn't necessarily in the most timely manner. Those comments happened last week. Why are we only hearing about this now? In previous days, quotes attributed to Warwick circulated by a gambling firm have been picked up by a number of websites criticising several current drivers, including Lando Norris, Stroll and Tsunoda-san. By the way, your boy Cameron CC has been talking about this. Put me in there. Cite me, Autosport, Mark Bryans, whatever your name is. Quote, following recent unauthorised media comments, the FIA has taken the decision to suspend Derek Warwick from his duties as driver steward for this weekend's Canadian Grand Prix. An FIA statement read. He will be replaced by Enrico Bonaldi, who will be officiating from remote operations centre in Geneva for the remainder of the event. Touche, bravo, FIA for once making the right decisions, are they not? This is simple. This is not Fermat's last theorem, nor is it Kasparov's Queen's sacrifice decline. This is counting basics. Bravo for once, FIA. After discussion, Derek acknowledges that his comments were ill-advised. Bloody Nora, I mean, this is basics. Didn't you see the ultimate demise of Johnny Herbert and why he met that as a steward? Derek Warwick. Derek acknowledges that his comments were ill-advised in his role as an FIA steward and has apologised since. Derek will resume his duties as a steward in the forthcoming Austrian Grand Prix. Okay, I thought he was done. I thought he was gonzo in perpetuity, suspended proper. Oh, the humanity. This isn't the news that I thought it was, but we react to it in real time. Autosport continues. Warwick becomes the second high-profile F1 steward to fall foul of providing syndicated quotes to a betting company this year, but they got rid of Johnny Herbert permanently. Before the start of the 2025 season, Johnny Herbert's comments led to him being no longer considered as a steward for Grand Prix racing events, having filled the role for some years. There have been significant interest in Herbert's FIA role since late 2024 when he was part of the stewards panel that twice penalised Red Bull driver Max Verstappen at the Mexican Grand Prix in partnership with a betting company. Herbert then commented on the decisions handed down by the body as well as his years in Formula One. Warwick also won 1992 Le Mans 24-hour and was crowned World Sports Car Champion in the same year. Pedigree, heritage, of course he was a half decent driver, more than that, but that doesn't matter when you are stewarding. All that matters is that you institute for the rules in a way that is true and fair, objective across all related parties. I'm not saying that Derek Warwick was not that. All I'm saying is that you can forgive people for thinking that he was not. And this isn't the first thing as far as Derek Warwick. You will recall, and again, all journalistic publications are created equally, but some in this instance, indeed the Sun, are created less equal than others. Sometimes F1 steward, and again, this is going back to July of 2023, F1 steward was at the centre of a social media storm as fans have a theory about Lewis Hamilton's Belgian GP penalty. Derek Warwick is at the centre of a social media storm in Glit. You get the picture, chat. This was not his first offence, and I would argue that this is worthy of being his last. I'm not sure that this should be a temporary suspension, chat. I feel like they need to get rid of Derek Warwick now. Full stop, new paragraph, draw line underneath it, appoint some new hungry young lions of stewards permanently, because this dude has proven himself no longer fit for purpose. And again, I state for the avoidance of doubt, the point is this. Not that Derek Warwick, not that we've got some sort of definitive evidence that Derek Warwick wasn't acting as a steward in a way that was true and fair and objective. The pertinent point, though, chat, is this. As far as Derek Warwick is concerned, you could be forgiven for thinking that he isn't objective, given the comments that he's made almost in perpetuity at this stage to the media as a pundit. Not an FIA steward, and more pertinently, to gambling websites. What are we doing, chat? This is nonsense. FIA stewards don't need to be doing that. Again, anytime that they do, you can forgive the F1 community for thinking that this dude might not be the most objective. Of course, causation, correlation, the latter doesn't necessarily imply the former. But once again, you can be forgiven for thinking that they do. What are we doing here?